Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, let's get started, man. Lots to talk about in the NBA, man. But first, what I want to talk about, and this is near and dear to my heart. My family is a sports fan. Well, it's my side of the family, my wife's side of the family. My family is a sports fan. And when it comes down to NBA players resting and going on the road, I have a problem with this. Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers went into Brooklyn and to face the Brooklyn Nets. And all their players played, the big three played, but more importantly, they played. And they went on the road, they showed up, and because of that, my niece and her son had the opportunity to take pictures with Kyrie Irving. And to me, that means a lot. And this is what it's about, guys. It's about the fans. It really is. We can talk about why you should play the game, why you should show up, why you should do this, why you should do that. But this is about the fans. My niece's son, my nephew, is probably about 9 years old. And this is his day. This is a moment for him. He takes a picture with Kyrie Irving. How huge is that? How huge is that? So kudos to Kyrie Irving for doing stuff like that. And I'm not going to stop there. To all the athletes that takes time out, especially on the road, to sign autographs, take a few pictures. You don't know what you do to that child, to the family, to the fans when you do something. All it is fan appreciation. And I applaud Kyrie Irving for that. But you know what? We need more of that. This is why you should play on road games. This is why you shouldn't sit out for rest. You have fans that look for moments and hope for opportunities such as this to be able to not only see a favorite player or a star player to play, but to be able to have a possible moment where it is a Kodak moment, where you can take a picture with a star. This is what it's about, guys. This is what it's about. And for you athletes, remember this. There was a moment before than who you are now. And that moment, remember, every adult or every celebrity adult, star athlete, star actor or actress has something in common with a child. You were a child. You was once them. So why rob them of that opportunity that once upon a time, maybe you seek the same? So kudos to Kyrie Irving for that moment with my family and any other celebrity or athlete that does the same, because this is what it's about with the fans. Now to the game. What a game it was. Kyrie Irving put on a show. Him and LeBron. They went into Brooklyn. Brooklyn made it close. But at the end of the day, Cleveland comes away with a win. I think it was only an 8-point win. LeBron had 36. Kyrie had 32. They put on a performance. Just a little bit too much for Brooklyn, but Brooklyn hung in there. They really did. They hung in there, but just didn't have enough. So kudos to Kyrie Irving. Cleveland gets the win. Cleveland is still in the process of finalizing the deal for Kyle Korver, which I cannot believe that Atlanta just gift wrapped them a missing piece like that. But hey, right now the GM for Cleveland is doing everything right, from acquiring Kevin Love to acquiring Shannon Fry, bringing over Richard Jefferson, giving him new life, getting J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert, now Kyle Korver. I mean, no knock on the Cleveland staff. They're just doing their homework and looking at ways to make this team a better team. And once that deal is finalized, can't be mad at Cleveland. Kyle Korver, I think Dunleavy's the better talent than Kyle Korver, but I think Kyle Korver is a better fit for Cleveland. Because all he has to do is go to a spot or two and just stand there and wait for the ball. And he's going to definitely keep the court wide open, because that's one guy is not going to leave. That's one guy that should never be open. on that team should never be over. And with the willing passes of LeBron and Kyrie Irving, I mean, if you leave Kyle Korver over, I'd rather LeBron or Kyrie Irving take the layup than have Kyle Korver shoot a three. I mean, that three will get the crowd going. And besides, it's 3 opposed to 2. So, I mean, this is what he's going to bring to the table. He's just going to stand out there. He may take 3 to 4 shots a game, hit 2 or 3 of them, and they're just going to be big moments. Just big moments. So that's another weapon that's going to Cleveland that could be useful in a possible rematch of Cleveland and Golden State in the NBA Final. And what a segue to go to. Golden State wasted the effort of a 40-point game by Steph Curry, as somehow or another they were outscored from late third quarter through the overtime by Memphis 62-29. That's something you don't see in the Golden State game. This was un-Warrior-like. I mean, Golden State looked like they were in control. I think they were up as many as 18, maybe even more. And Curry had it going. Durant had 27. Somewhere along the line, somewhere late in the fourth quarter, this team went to sleep. And Memphis, led by Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, and Marc Gasol, their big three, and they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And they pushed this into overtime. A little friction on the court between Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. It looks like Draymond Green wanted a pick and roll. Kevin Durant called everybody out and did a one-on-one isolation, settled for a jump shot out the key that fell short of the rim. Next thing you know, Memphis scores a basket, and we're headed into overtime, guys. So, little surprising ending to this game here, but kudos to Memphis for fighting back. One thing about Memphis, this team is not assembled to win the West. Don't get me wrong. It's not assembled to win the West, but it is assembled to give you a hard-fought game every game. It is assembled to give you a top-notch performance from start to finish. You know, this is a team that you just don't know what you're going to get. And I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think Fizdale has done a tremendous job dealing with injuries to Mike Conley, dealing with injuries to Chandler Parsons. First-year coach. Really don't have the talent to run with most of the teams in the West. But he's staying relevant in that top 5, top 6 out there in the West. I think he's doing a fantastic job, especially for a rookie head coach. You can't ask for much more than what we're receiving or seeing out there with Memphis. So kudos to Fizdale and his staff and his team for not giving up, lacing their sneakers up, and pulling their shorts up and just digging in. And Golden State, I mean, you could just sum it up as just one of those things that happens. But when you see friction between your star players, Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, late in the fourth quarter like that, you have to question, hey, what's going on there? And that's the thing that kind of plagued Kevin Durant when he was in OKC, because him and Westbrook would do clear outs and go one-on-one. And then a team like this that makes its living or its success on ball movement, pick and roll, and just passing the ball around, you don't need that, what they call today a hero shot. And I can see what Draymond Green's point is. You know, that's what it's about on this team. Everybody is modeling their game after the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs because there's so much ball movement that when you see that, and keep this in mind, Golden State was up 2. So it wasn't like they needed the 3 or a dagger shot. They just needed a good shot. And the ball movement or pick and roll would have got it. I mean, we'll see how that goes. I don't think this is a major concern, but it does raise the eyebrows when you see your 2 star players getting into it at the end of the game on the court where it's just polarized. But moving along, from one epic comeback to another, what a game by the New York Knicks last night. I watched this game from start to finish, and I did something that it probably ate me up, but I did not cheer, clap until the late fourth quarter. I just sat there most of the time in disbelief. When the New York came out the gate 9-0 in the first quarter, I said this would be a long night for the Knicks. Anytime a team comes out hot like that, they usually go cold just as bad or even worse. And that's exactly what happened. New York had no answer for Jabari Parker or the Greek freak Giannis in the first half. Let me tell you something. We always talk about the top backcourts in the game. We always talk about that. But I want to challenge you. What is your top forward tandems in the game? And where does Giannis and Jabari Parker stand? Because those two are the future of the league. You got Giannis, who's an athletic Kevin Durant. Once he develops a consistent jump shot, the sky's the limit for him. Jabari Parker is looking like a young Melo. Those two together, and with a Brogdon that can play the game, and if Jason Kidd could get him to play like he played and teach him to be a floor general, an Andre Miller type, or a type like him who could just get a basket when he needs a basket. Remember, Chris Middleton is not even on the court to stretch the court. This team here is going to be a problem. But that forward tandem is clearly top 5 in the league. It's clearly top 5 in the league. I mean, I haven't taken the time out to think about it. Of course, when you think about top 5 forwards in the league, you know, Kevin Love and LeBron comes to the name. But that's a top 5 tandem there. But they were too much for the Knicks in the first half. Porzingis held his own a little bit, but he just couldn't keep up with the Greek freak. And I'm going to tell you something about Giannis and KP. I think that they have similar talents. I think that right now they may be a little bit equal. I just think that the difference in Giannis is that he's that team's Batman, where they're bringing Porzingis along slowly in New York because Melo is still there. Right now, Porzingis has the range on Giannis. Giannis definitely has the athleticism over Porzingis. They both can finish. All right. I do think that Porzingis might be a better post-up player from him right now. But those two could be the future of the Eastern Conference. It may not be next year or the year after, but remember, Giannis is 22, Porzingis is 20. 5 years from now, and especially if the Knicks can build around Porzingis, those two are going to be going head-to-head. When you start to see the guys like LeBron starting to fade out because he's getting older, those two are going to be the future. The key for both of those teams is being able to maintain them where they are. Milwaukee, a small market team, they're going to need to hold on to their star player. New York has no problem with spending the money, so Porzingis should never leave New York. But Giannis, that kid's a problem. And Jabari Parker is a problem. They had an 18-point lead. Going into the fourth quarter, the Knicks was down 15. I'm not sure how the Knicks came back. I really don't. Brandon Jennings didn't have it. Jeff Hornacek must didn't like what he saw in Derrick Rose. He went deep into the bench. He started the third quarter with Ron Baker, rookie out of Wichita State, undrafted. Kind of have similarity to a Jeff Hornacek. He came out there, and this is the thing. The Knicks looked awful in the second quarter. They had like 11 turnovers after having no turnovers, 8 assists on 12 shots in the first quarter. Had 11 turnovers in the second quarter. 11 turnovers in the second quarter and maybe 2 assists. They came out looking good on the third quarter, but Milwaukee answered. But something just came about them in the fourth quarter, and it was resemblance to what took place 2 nights ago at the Garden when the Knicks went into the fourth quarter with a 14-point lead, and Milwaukee clawed back to hit the jump shot at the buzzer by Giannis to win the game. And the Knicks repaid the favor, but it was led by Ron Baker. Now, don't get me wrong. Carmelo had one of his best games of the season with 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. Uh, KP was sensational in the fourth quarter. He finished with 24 and a couple of block shots on Giannis. In fact, he shut Giannis down in the fourth quarter. He shut him down in the fourth quarter before fouling out. But the game ball goes to Ron Baker. It goes to Ron Baker. He comes in there. He plays the whole fourth quarter. No Derrick Rose, no Brandon Jennings. He comes in. He pushes the ball a little bit, but he does it in such control. I think he threw Milwaukee and Jason Kidd for a loop. He came in, he settled down the team. There was no turnovers in the fourth quarter. No turnovers. Guys was getting the ball when they need to. He had 6 points, 4 assists, and 12 minutes of action. And to me, quite frankly, he's the reason why we won the game. I have to give Hornacek some credit for gambling. And by putting this youngster in there, he brought something that no one expected. At least I didn't. I didn't expect that. But kudos to the young man, because what happens here is that it was simply next man up. And you have to be ready. You have to be prepared. When your opportunity comes, you just have to be prepared and make the most of it. And this young man did that. Ron Baker came out there and stole the game ball. And 12 minutes of action with 4 assists, 6 points, maybe a rebound or 2, and just stole the show. He really did. Carmelo with a clutch 3-pointer in the final minutes. Again, he was sensational. He was throwing passes. He was finding Noah for dunks. It was phenomenal to watch this comeback. And definitely a much needed win for New York. Now they have a back-to-back tonight. And if I wish they can steal a page from Houston, because Houston, they won again last night on a back-to-back. They're 9-0 on back-to-back, on the second game of a back-to-back. And this is a much-needed win for New York against Indiana tonight. So maybe it might be a good thing that Rose didn't play the fourth quarter, because he might be fresh among all players of the starting lineup. But this was an exciting game, a very exciting game. And I have to give him credit. It was a very exciting game and a good win. Gutsy call by Jeff Hornacek, but it paid off. Now, New York still got a lot of work to do. You got to get back to this winning ways. You can't win today and lose tonight. You know, we can't win yesterday and lose tonight. You got to get this win. You have to secure this win. This is a big game for you tonight. A big game for you tonight. Now, I want to get back to that forward tandem, because I am so impressed by Giannis and Jabari Parker. Guys, this is the future. This is the future right here. This is the future. Here's where I'm going. Yeah, Kevin Love and LeBron James is probably number 1 on that list. Number 2, I'm going to say Kevin Durant and Draymond Green. Okay? Number 3, I'm not the greatest fans of these two, but I have to respect these two. Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge. That's probably number 3. But this is where it gets a little tricky here. Is it Giannis and Jabari Parker? Or is it Melo and Porzingis? But either way, that's your top 5. Quickly looking around the league, thinking, I can't see anybody else above that top 5. Detroit don't have it. Indiana, Paul George, Thaddeus Young, nah, I don't see that. Washington, nah. Let me see, who else is it? Wait, we talked about Cleveland, Detroit, Indiana, Milwaukee. What about Chicago? You got Jimmy Butler and Taj Gibson? Nah. Let's talk about Al Horford and Jay Crowder. They're pretty good, but nah, they're not in the top 5. Philadelphia, they're not there. Toronto, they don't even have a power forward. Who's their small forward? No, so they're not in it. Brooklyn, nah. Let's go down to Miami. No. Let's go to Atlanta. You got Millsap and Charlotte, Nicholas Batum and Marvin Williams. Nah. Washington. No. Orlando. No, not yet. We go out west now. Utah, Gordon Hayward and Derek Favors. Not bad, but not top 5. OKC, no. Denver, not yet. Minnesota, no. Portland, no. OKC, no. Dallas, Dirk and Harrison Barnes. Well, if they're healthy, that could be a formidable. But right now, we haven't seen any consistency between them. So again, that top 5 is right there. And like I said, I don't know who's number 4, but clearly that's that forward tandem. I mean, Jabari Parker and Giannis. That's the future right there. If Milwaukee can keep this together and Jason Kidd can grow as a coach, as well as these players, that's the future right there. That is the future right there. Before I close, I'll be remiss reminding you guys, NFL playoff starts today. Wildcard game. First game is at 4. Second game is at 8. Should be a very entertaining day. You got Oakland going into Houston. I believe with Connor Cook, the third-string quarterback, they still have enough to beat this Houston team on the road. So I'm going with Oakland. And I'm going with Detroit to upset Seattle. I think Seattle is Seattle. They got the name. They got the home field. But they just seem like they lose players and not able to replace players. They really never replace Lynch. They're losing defensive players every other week. I just think that Detroit, even though they lost 3 in a row, I think they're going to find a little something and come back with this one. And I think they get the win today on the road. So I like both road teams to take the win today. And it should be an exciting game. So enjoy your Saturday. For us people down here in the dirty South, be careful out there. The roads might be a little bit slick. But in the meantime, everyone have a blessed day. Enjoy whatever it is that you do today. Hey, this is Chopping It Up with Ramel. Peace and blessings. I see you in 24.